Welcome to the Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. I am your host, Tonya Halfman, and today, as always, I have an amazingly fabulous guest star, Miss Diane Halfman. Hey, Diane.
Hey everyone, good to see you.
Oh my gosh, so we're going to see her in just a minute. And if you missed her amazing The World's Most Fabulous People series, you have got to go watch it because she was amazing, as we all know. But I wanted to remind you that you too are amazing and you too need to be on this show and do other things with the Public Speakers Association. So go out there and start changing the world from the front of the room and get involved. So go to Public Speakers with an S Association, all spelled out.com to find other speakers, connect, get, develop your own sense of who you are and get your message out to the world. Alrighty, so let's just get into it. So Diane, tell us about you and how fabulous you are, what you have going on nowadays.
Well, first of all, thanks, Tonya, for having me on the show. I love connecting with you and your audience. Again, it's Diane Halfman. I'm the founder of Spa Life, and Spa Life is about having a lifestyle where accomplishment and harmony coexist. Now, if you want to have that harmony in your life, you can't have overwhelm. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yay! No more overwhelm.
Oh.
Who doesn't do that? And I know your whole thing is it's your choice, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's so funny. I mean, you cannot be fabulous and be overwhelmed at the same time, right? I mean, you have to choose which one are you going to be. And sometimes we think about overwhelm is something that happens to us, like life happens and now we're overwhelmed and anxious and things seem really crazy. However, if we look about designing our life versus living by default and really look at overwhelm as being a choice, we can actually step back and look at what are some of the things that are actually causing overwhelm.
Right. I know. I was just talking to Michael, my husband, about it, and because I'm getting ready for a trip, which reminds me that I have to do this, this, and this, and this. Oh my gosh. The boys, my husband doesn't drive anymore, so I got to get them food so they don't starve while I'm gone. You got all of these things that are like playing out, and you're like, okay, calm checklist.
Absolutely. So, this is exactly, as you rattle off these things, I mean, people have really full and busy lives. And this is where the overwhelm comes in, is that we've overbooked ourselves. We've got so many things that are happening. We're doing things, 1 hour after the next, and we're not taking that deep breath. And we're not looking to see, with all the things that we have, look at your list and look at where are the open loops. Right? So the open loops are all those things that don't get completed. A lot of things get started, but they don't get completed. And when things don't get completed, that can add to the overwhelm. So when you look at your day, look at what are some of the things where you can actually close a loop, either giving it off to someone in your team or completing it yourself. So that's one more less thing that you have to think about. So if you have all these open loops, that's what leads to overwhelm. So you want to close as many loops as possible.
Love that. I know, yes, loops. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is what we all do to ourselves. I am, and I always know that I never give myself enough time before and after a trip to do the things
Yes.
before and after a trip. So then you're like, oh my gosh, so I not only plug in everything that I normally do, but then I have all this extra stuff. And then I'm like,
You are not alone in this, sister. I mean, there are so many things that people are doing. They're not allowing the time to do it. However, there's also the other, side to look at too, is the lack of immediate action. And so a lot of wasted time happens too. I mean, because we're running around and doing things, we actually think in our head that we're actually accomplishing things. But there are things either out of fear, or we don't have all the information, or we just don't step into things sooner. So let's say we set a certain time aside to do it. I mean, how many times do you allow yourself to have some distractions, whether it's the email, the phone, you're doing one more thing, or you're doing something else, and you're not actually doing the thing that is, that you need to do to get started. So it's really good to have some starting rituals or some things in place that actually cuts the things that are just distracting you and actually get on track and make that happen.
I was just talking to a friend who she just got involved with my whole Boundless team and everything, and she's so fun. She was, went from corporate, everything very structured, right, to I'm home and I get to do, what do I do, right? And I think that's one of the biggest factions for people coming out of a corporate mentality. where everything was very structured. And to me, it seems like they should just kind of structure their day so that they follow whatever they used to do, so that it becomes more of a natural progression. Or does that not work?
No, I think that's really great to have that structure. I mean, a lot of times people fight against the structure because they feel like they can't be creative or, they can't have the flow that they want in the day. However, sometimes we forget that structure actually gives you freedom by actually having very focused time to get those, important things done. Do them early in the day, make them happen. Just set the time aside. If you have to even if you work from home, put a do not disturb sign on your door, or put some headphones on or something where you can really have those concentrated times to get things done. I mean, sometimes we just forget we actually need to get things done, and the sooner in the day we get things done, then we have more freedom. We can do some of those other things, and we can, as holidays coming up, being able to spend time with family and doing shopping. We don't want that to be another overwhelm thing that's happening. Get the important things done first, then you have a lot more expansive time in what you do in your day.
I know. A long time ago, it was like, oh, I gotta, and I was just like, and then I'm like, well, let me actually put a calendar of hours, because we only have so much time in the day. This is, pick up sun time, why do I always forget it? Because I don't have it on a calendar, right? Or,
Yes.
Whatever it is, and then label it in different colors. So my son, anything that has to do with him is yellow, right? Because then it also makes me feel good. It's my favorite color. And then I put red. Things are like, better get it done right now.
Yes. Oh, so good. I mean, the calendar is your tool and is so underutilized by people. They'll put, a doctor's appointment or a client call, but they don't really put the totality of their life. It's like when you really look at the structure of how you're doing your day, you want to look at your calendar in terms of what are the things that you get to do versus what you have to do, and the dread that's in there, and the things that you feel like you need to do that gets you to the next level of something that you want to do. Have those structured times so that you can really have the flow in your day to do the other aspects that you want to do. Now, another thing that people don't look at that actually leads to their overwhelm is, now listen up, sisters, this is something that I know you're doing, is that you're going from one thing to the next and you're slamming so much into your day that you're not giving yourself a reset time. You're not taking a deep breath. You're not giving yourself that space so that your brain and body and soul and spirit and every aspect of you can actually catch up to be present for all the things that you're going to do during the day. So what does that look like is you want to actually have appointments with people that are maybe like 45 minutes or 50, so that you actually have that extra 10 minutes before another appointment where you can go walk around, you can actually stretch, you can actually have a mental break. Because studies show, I mean, this is scientific, that if you don't give that mental break, you are actually not able to perform at the higher level that you're doing. They've even said that, the more that you focus on something and you don't give yourself a break, the less you are actually accomplishing. So it's actually counterintuitive, not to push through some things and give yourself that break so that you can actually be on point and more focused throughout the day.
I love it. I was talking to, he's the CEO of multiple billion-dollar companies, right? He's gone from, he created these amazing, companies, and is a multimillionaire himself. And we were just chatting one day and talking about his wife and things. And he goes, oh, his alarm went off, and he goes, oh, it's time for my nap. I'm like, I mean, we're at the office, right? In this high, big building and everything. I'm like, your nap? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, I take a 30-minute nap every day. I was like, where do you take a nap? He goes, that's my couch in my office. And I'm like, how brilliant is that? That this high power, get it done guy takes a nap.
It is so perfect. I actually am just coming off a 3-day event, and, a really great facilitator really reads the energy of the people in the room and, how much more they can take in versus being really full. I mean, if you just keep cramming more stuff into someone, they're not necessarily going to absorb that. And so this facilitator actually had, breaks where we took like a 15-minute nap. And it, like, you came back in the afternoon and you were like, you got to absorb things from the morning. You were actually more, together. And it was a really great tool. I thought, oh my God, we're back at kindergarten. We have nap time. I'm so excited. Right?
I
It was,
know,
it was
right?
awesome.
When I put together my conferences, I give huge long breaks. And the first conference I put on, people were like, why is there 30 minutes in between speakers? You know, they just really had a hard time with it because they're used to going from one to next, to next, to next. And I'm like, if you don't give your chance to absorb what you just heard, and this is the problem, I think, why most people leave a conference and they don't even remember what they just learned, because they didn't have a chance to not only absorb it, but talk to people about what they just heard, which then really imprints it into them.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, we don't think of it, even with our cell phone, something that we use a lot throughout the day, the energy gets depleted and you have to plug it in. So what are the things that we're doing to fill ourselves back up so that we can be on point, and we don't look at sometimes the energy of, how things are for us.
Right, exactly. I love it. So I know that you are up to so many amazing things, and you have wow, it's just a really cool, it's like an assessment, right? Where people can kind of plug in and see where they are in their life.
Yes, absolutely. So, in all the fullness that we have in our life, one of the first things that I have people look at is their physical space, because people don't realize how much the things around us, your environment, actually impacts whether you're overwhelmed, your flow in the day, how you feel, and it really does affect how you experience your day. So awareness is the first key. And so I give people my quiz, which is called the clutterawarenessquiz.com. Again, that's the clutterawarenessquiz.com. And it's a 4-minute quiz, and you get the results back right away, where you know the areas that are really working for you and the areas that you may need some support in. Because here's the thing. I know you are all here to do your deeper work, to make a difference, and to really have some impact. You can't do that, and you can't do your bigger soul purpose here in the world if you've got things that are distracting you, that are holding you back, that are anchoring you or holding you down. So I highly recommend that you take this quiz to see where you are at so that you can be supported in your environment to do the bigger things that you are here to do. So again, that's the clutterawarenessquiz.com.
Love it. All right, everyone. Immediately go and do that, because hello, you need to anyways. And get connected with Diane, because hello again. So, there's sometimes you just meet people and you're like, oh, this person was meant to be sent to me to tell me to do certain things. And it's always very important to look at how can you get really awesome advice, but also how can you really connect with people that have, areas that you need. So definitely get connected with Diane. And obviously, if you're looking for someone for your radio, TV show, conference, Diane's like a perfect choice. Hello. Yay. All righty. So thank you for joining me, Diane, again. And I'm so excited.
Pleasure to be here with you as always.
Yay. All righty, everybody. So go get connected with Diane. Go to publicspeakersassociation.com and get to connect with myself if you haven't connected with me yet. So remember, Tonya Hofmann, Tonya with an O and a Y, and also Hofmann, 1F, 2 N's. My husband's family doesn't know how to spell their last name right. So get it right. 1F, 2 N's, and I'm all over the internet. So it should be very easy. Alrighty, thank you, everyone. See you next time on the Tonya Hofmann's Fabulous TV Show. Yay!